Joining us right now is Trump 2020 campaign senior advisor, former White House Strategic Communications Director, Mercedes Schlapp. Mercedes, good to see you.
Good morning.
Assess the field for us. You've got Bloomberg ready to come in. You've got Mayor Pete doing really well, better than anybody thought in Iowa. How do you see things?
Well, I mean, the field is in chaos right now. You look at the fact that now you've had Bloomberg going in, as well as Governor Deval Patrick, because they themselves realize that they're looking at the field and are very nervous that Donald Trump will beat each and every one of them. So this is a party that's trying to identify who they can relate to. Are they going to join the Socialist Party, which most of them, it looks that's the direction and where the energy is at, or can they find that moderate ground? But Biden is such a weak candidate, and while Pete is doing better in Iowa, can he connect in states like South Carolina and other states where there is a higher African-American numbers, where I think it becomes a challenge for him. So. Yeah. Warren then releases her plans. That seems to have impacted her numbers as well. So again, you look at the field and it is very flawed. And at the end of the day, one thing they don't talk about, they don't talk about the economy. They don't talk about the booming economy, which of course it's because of President Trump's policies that have led to where we are today, where we have workers making better wages, where we have consumer confidence up, where we see greater investments here in America. That is the untold story, and that is a story that the Democrats don't want to talk about.
Well, they're talking about impeachment. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi inviting President Trump to testify now in the ongoing impeachment inquiry. Not all Democrats are in favor of impeaching the president. On Sunday Morning Futures, I spoke with New Jersey Democrat Jeff Van Drew about how he plans to vote, and listen to what he said. We're expecting an impeachment vote sometime in December. How will you vote?
I would imagine that I'll be voting no. Now, I always, have a codicil if there's something new, something we haven't heard, something that really rises to the level of treason or, a high crime, that would be different. But we don't see that.
Mercedes, what you didn't hear in that soundbite is my follow-up, and I said to him, are there other Democrat colleagues of yours who have voiced concern that may vote no again as well? And he said yes. So we'll see. I mean, this may not be a slam dunk in the House, Mercedes.
Well, two things. One is that you're seeing that they've moved from, for example, the words of quid pro quo to bribery because it plays better with the focus group. So they're already basically moving the goalposts. This is what the Democrats are doing. Secondly, then you have these Democrats who are in these Trump districts. You're talking over 24 of those Democrats. They've got to be nervous. If they move forward with impeachment, let's remember, impeachment is so serious. You are literally overturning an election and removing a president. Talk about a constitutional crisis. Talk about uncertainty in our nation. This is where the Democrats are willing to go because of their hatred towards the president. It puts these Democrats in those Trump districts in a very dangerous position. It makes them have to decide. I'm telling you, those voters will react and vote Republican if those Democrats decide to vote to impeach the president.
Mercedes, good morning. Mitch Rochelle. I want to stay with that topic of those Democrats who are in those Trump districts, or the districts that Trump won. How are they messaging to their constituents this whole process, or are they just being quiet right now about it?
That's a great question. I think that those Democrats probably are being more quiet than usual. They want to be talking about other issues. I mean, for crying out loud, we've got USMCA on the table. Nancy Pelosi's talking about impeaching the president. The administration for a long time, and I was at the White House during this time, has been negotiating with the Democrats to get USMCA done. This impacts many of those districts that we were talking about. And yet, Congress and these Democrats are focused solely on this impeachment process. Yeah. They can't seem to move the ball in any other piece of legislation. They can't seem to find common ground with Republicans on other pieces of legislation, for example, like lowering drug prices. So it is a big problem for these Democrats if all they can show to the American people is that the only thing they want to work on is impeaching the president.
I think this is going to hurt them in the 2020 election because voters want to see things get done. By the way, what I learned yesterday I thought was incredible. None of the lawmakers are sworn in. They are not under oath. So they can say whatever they want. And this is what came out yesterday on my show, that Adam Schiff, he's not, punishable for perjury. He can say whatever. That's why he said, oh, we don't know the whistleblower. We'd like to meet the whistleblower, which was a flat-out lie. Why? Because later we found out that Adam Schiff's staff did in fact meet the whistleblower. So isn't that unbelievable that everybody, the witnesses are sworn in, but the lawmakers can say whatever they want. That's why they want Adam Schiff to get sworn in and to testify and be a witness since he met with the whistleblower.
It's a flawed process. A lot of people feel that way. Mercedes, I wanted to ask you about your call on Bloomberg, because in modern times, I don't recall a strategy where you come in on Super Tuesday, pour a ton of dollars behind it, and try and get traction. Do you think this is going to work? Because they don't really know him that well out on the West Coast.
No, there's no question. I think it's a tough haul for Bloomberg, not necessarily from a financial standpoint, just because there's so many candidates on the field. You're looking at the fact that if you win Iowa, if you win New Hampshire, the momentum is on your side. The narrative shifts quickly. People start to basically consolidate and support one candidate. So I think the Super Tuesday strategy makes it very tricky for Bloomberg. I mean, the other question is, does it become a brokered convention because of the fact that the Democrats can't agree on one candidate? Remember, it's been Biden, the one who's been that front runner for a long time, yet he is on weakened ground. And I think you're going to see, we have an upcoming debate this week. It's all going to be the same. It's all going to be massive government spending. It's all going to be unrealistic plans that take the country far to the left. And I think that's very concerning to the American people.
Yeah, so I mean, the party's not stupid. I mean, Nancy Pelosi has been at this for decades. Why is it that they are so left-leaning, and anybody who has any moderate approach can't get past go? Look what happened to Tim Ryan. Look what happened to Howard Schultz.
Well, remember, who votes in these primaries in many cases and in these caucuses are really the strong base. And that base is going to skew even farther to the left. So, in a general election, you're trying to get those swing voters, those independents who could vote Republican or Democrat. They're the ones that are going to be the common sense voters in a lot of ways. When you're looking at these primaries and caucuses, these candidates have to appeal to the far left. And what we have seen is that the far left mentality is that of late-term abortions, is that of a new Green Deal that would cost trillions of dollars, eliminate the fossil fuel industry, basically try to go after corporate America. And so they have their philosophy is that is very connected to the liberal base, which are those people who go out to vote on primary or caucus day.
All right, we will leave it there. Mercedes, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Mercedes Schlapp.